Now, I know a lot of programs, a lot of you out there use maybe Basecamp or a project board, something like that. Notion is on a whole nother level. And Courtney is going to tell us a little bit about how she uses Notion in East.
Alright, so we use Notion in our East classroom for a lot of different things. One of the main things that we've used it for recently has been databases. We are able to take one maybe small thing and connect a whole bunch of information to it. So one of our big databases has been our graduate database, where we have taken all the graduates from Gentry High School and we've put it in this database, and it has over 5,000 entries, and each name has a bunch of information tied to it. So it has whether or not they were a girl or a guy, if they graduated with high honors or just regular honors, if they were a class officer, what year they went to Gentry High School and graduated. It has their name, and if there's a picture for them, it has a picture with it. We also use Notion a lot of times for just kind of organizational purposes. So we have a lot of like e-standards. We have those just kind of organized in a page. We are able to cross-reference pages in Notion too that we use a lot. So that's kind of what we use it in our East program for.
That sounds perfect to use it as a database. Very good.
So I'm curious. I've not ever really heard of Notion until you brought it up. And I'm really curious about what is a feature that you use all the time that you just couldn't live without?
That's kind of difficult, but probably for me it would be the fact that you can cross-reference a bunch of information in just one page, so that you don't, kind of like Microsoft Office, but it's more useful, so you don't have to bounce back and forth between different apps and softwares. It's all right there in one page, ready to access very easily and quickly.
Wow. And I do have one quick question. You said there are 5,000 entries in that database. How long did that take your program to enter 5,000 entries?
It took a long time, and it's still ongoing.
It's ongoing
with each year.
It's really great.
And that's why you need a true database, though, so that you can actually, like you say, cross-reference, and you can search for things and sort in certain. I'm wondering, does anyone else here use any kind of project management tool?
We do. I really want to learn more about Notion though. It seems super interesting. I think it would help our program out a lot. But we take just regular poster boards like you would buy at Walmart, and we draw a line down them with one of the big Sharpies. And at the top of it, we write what needs to be done and what has been done. And then we take sticky notes that are color-coded for each project. And if you're bored for the day, or if you're working on the project, you go pick up one of the sticky notes, complete the task, and then move it to the other side. Our class is very hands-on. Of course, we love our software, but they all just love to be able to see it completed, and then when they're all moved to the same side, it's like the most satisfying thing ever just to look at. Just like the sticky notes are all on one side and one color, and it's just amazing.
Oh yeah, and I love that project management is something that everyone does, but it's interesting to see that some people go the digital route, some people go the physical route, but no matter what, it's essential that student champions are part of that process of keeping track of everything. So because I'm probably super interested in Notion, what is the first thing somebody should do? Like how do they get started?
Well, to get started with Notion, you need to understand that there's a big learning curve with it. It's very advanced in what you can do with it. It's very customizable to fit your specific needs. There's so much you can do in Notion, so you would just have to kind of just sit there and learn it with any other software. But Notion it's just a learning process. There's so much in it, and it's so customizable, but you just want to make sure that you don't overdo it.
Don't get overwhelmed.
Yeah, you'll overwhelm yourself big time.
Yeah, so just how do you eat an elephant? Does anybody know? One bite at a time, right? Yeah, so you just kind of chip away at it. And are there any costs associated with Notion? Is it a paid, or are there different levels based on what you want to do?
So it is free to an extent. There's kind of just two levels. You either pay for it or you don't. It's around $50 to unlock everything in it, but which is what we use, so we can have everything, access everything. But it is free if you're just wanting to kind of try it out for a little bit.
Right. This might be something that we talk about at the office a little bit. It sounds really great.
And you know, if you're interested in software like that, look at the idea of writing a grant where you would use software or sometimes hardware for that particular project. And because after you're done doing the project, you still have that equipment or software to continue to use. So kind of like using it more than once.
Yeah. So I think the whole point is with Notion, I might actually be able to get my life together. Huh, interesting. Could be dangerous. All right, so now let's switch gears.